Welcome to Sakshi TV's special immigration live talk show. Please note that Sakshi TV now has 3 immigration shows every week: on Tuesday at 3 p.m. EST with attorney Ms. Sheila Murthy, Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. EST with attorney Ms. Prashanti Reddy in English, and on Friday at 6 p.m. EST with attorney Bhanu Illindra. Please tune in to ask your questions. If you're an immigration attorney and would like to join our special shows, please email usa@sakshi.com or call 866-725-7441. Before we begin the show, please note that the information provided on this show is not a legal advice. Use of content is for general informational purposes only. Sakshi TV or its agents in the USA or our guests on this show are not responsible for use of information as a legal advice. If you need specific legal advice, please contact the attorneys directly. We will also be taking any general immigration questions along with today's topic. Hello, Vanugaru. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Andy. Good evening.
Good evening. Sir, can you please provide information on your law offices, practice areas, and your experience?
Sure. My name is Bhanu Illindra. I'm an immigration attorney practicing for 17 years, more than 17 years in the US, especially in immigration law. My firm name is BBI Law Group PC. I founded this firm in 2008. We are now staffed more than 25 people across the nation, basically, and also in the world, basically in India. Including all the members, we are more than 25 people right now. And we exclusively represent in immigration matters: employment-based immigration, family-based immigration, EB-5 investor visas, basically, and any other type of immigration matters, F1 students, J1 students, whichever issues we have overall with immigration law, we are there to assist, we are there to help. Our firm website is www.bbilawgroup.com. Our firm phone number is 703-496-7722. My email ID is bhanu@bbilawgroup.com. If you have any questions where you need some legal help or seek an immigration attorney's advice, you're welcome to call our office and set up a time to discuss with me in detail about your matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhanu. So today's topic is the immigration updates, and this is a continuation to last week's topic. We will continue with the knowledge session this week. So along with the news and updates on latest immigration, followed by Q&A. So before we get into the topic, you can call us on the numbers on the screen for questions related to immigration and also ask tips. Vanugaru, do we have any updates on immigration?
We have a couple of updates. One is basically the USCIS recently provided an update pertaining to the validity of the Form I-693, which is basically medicals that are submitted that should be submitted along with the I-485 adjustment of status application, basically. Okay, and as per this notification given by the USCIS yesterday, if anybody submitted the medicals prior to September 30, 2021, those medicals are considered valid for 4 years, basically. Sorry to use words basically more often. That's my filler word. Sometimes I get that more often in my calls, but I'm just telling this thing basically.
Won't be a problem.
I'm just explaining. Yeah, I'm just explaining everything, trying to explain everything in this. And as of yesterday, USCIS made an announcement that the medicals forms are supposed to be submitted to the USCIS within 60 days of its medicals done. That means if you did the tests and everything with the doctor, and if those medicals are within those 60 days, then you can submit them to the USCIS along with your 485. And once you submit them along with the 485, those medicals are usually valid for 24 months. But now, for the temporary period, they extended the validity of those medicals still for 48 months, not 24 months anymore. So once you submit within those 60 days, then the medicals are valid for 48 months for the adjudication of your green cards. The reason USCIS stated in the notification, yesterday given notification, is that it actually facilitates for them to expeditiously adjudicate I-485 applications. and they want to expeditiously, they wanted to give predominantly importance for the adjudication of 485 cases, so that many employment-based immigrant visa numbers will not go wasted. That's a very, very important update given by the USCIS yesterday. And second one important update came is today, which is basically the September 2021 visa bulletin. And September 2021 visa bulletin has seen movement in the dates for the EB2 category. EB2 category actually moved forward till the September 2011 final action dates, which allows the individuals to file then 485, that means adjustment of status applications, until September 2021. And second is basically, and second one thing is EB3 actually still stayed with the January 2014 only, but we are expecting the dates for the EB3 are going to move forward in October 2021 basically. So it's a very good thing. We are seeing the forward movement in the EB2 category also for September. So if anybody has the priority dates are current basically, please contact your attorneys, or please contact, if we are your attorneys, please contact our office. We will be able to send a note to the USCIS saying that your dates are current and able to adjudicate your petitions or your applications for green card as timely as possible. These are the two important updates I would like to bring in the today's show, in this today's show only. Okay.
Thank you. So, Vanugaru, what is the visa availability approach to prioritizing the adjudication of Form I-526?
Right now, I-526 is basically for the investor visa petition, okay? And there are two things we have to understand. If it's a direct investment petition, I-526, then they're adjudicating now. You're able to see the decisions and everything. But if your I-526 petition is based upon the regional center availability, regional center program, basically, regional center program, and that regional center program is actually has been sunset right now. It has not been reauthorized by the Congress yet. Hopefully, we will see that in the budget reconciliation bill that has been pending in the House and in the Senate. Hopefully, they will include that, and then it will come to the fruition, basically, and able to get the regional center program again effective and active so that USCIS can adjudicate those cases. As the regional center program has been suspended, the USCIS is not providing any guidelines as of now. What will be the processing times for those petitions that are pending based upon the regional center programs, basically, regional center programs. Those programs, they're held in abeyance right now. We do not know when their I-526 will be adjudicated, or even pursuant to file I-485 applications also. We do not know when they're going to adjudicate those I-485 applications. But if a normal direct investment I-526 cases, we are seeing 24 to 30 months time period for the adjudication of those petitions, basically.
Right. So, how is a visa availability approach different from the current FIFO approach?
It is the same thing. It's a FIFO approach only, but the thing is, you have 10,000 visas are available for the EB5 category. Totally 140,000 visas are available for the employment-based category per fiscal year. And in them, 10,000 visas are allocated to the EB5 category, basically. In those 10,000 visas, obviously 7% of those visas are allocated to the Indian nationals. If you're talking to the Indian nationals only, basically, Indian nationals. That 7% means it's around 700 visas, basically, per year. Okay? And it's like any other visa number calculation. They look into the demand, how many petitions are being filed, how many petitions are to be approved or adjudicated or allocated with visa numbers, and how many visas are available in that particular fiscal year. And based upon that, they will make an announcement whether visa numbers are available or not, that particular employment-based category. Therefore, right now, the demand is very less from India for the EP5 program. So it has been current. It has been current for almost a year right now. So I don't think it's going to change very recent until even for a few more months in the future. therefore it's going to remain current, and that's what I'm anticipating.
Right. So, what petitions does this change particularly affect?
I didn't understand your question.
What petitions
Tarini.
does this particularly affect? This change, what petitions does it particularly affect?
I mean, you're talking about the changes pertaining to I-526,
Yeah.
immigrant visa EB5
Yes, yes.
program?
Right.
Okay. See, the change is basically, unfortunately, the Regional Center program has been sunset in September, in last month, basically. And because of the sunset, that is the change, basically. I mean, if the Congress has to, again, authorize EB5 Regional Center program, if they don't authorize the EB5 Regional Center program, we basically do nothing much, basically, nothing much. One more important change you have to understand is that we know that we discussed in the previous calls that the limit of the investment has been again reversed back to the old limits, that is $1 million, and if it's a highly targeted employment area or a rural area, it's 500,000. Prior to the reversal, because of the judgment Bahrain case, basically we discussed that in the previous call, in the previous shows, basically. Prior to that, the decision came by the court, the limits were very higher. The 900,000 the targeted employment area and the rural areas, and 1,800 in the 1.8 million in the regular normal areas if you want to make an investment for the EB5 program. Now, again, they were reverted back. Now the limits are at 500,000 and $1 million. But USCIS may come back again, ratifying those regulations, basically, and probably it's possible that they can do that. I do not know when they're going to implement that, when they're going to follow the process and everything for that. But if that happens, basically, again, the limits may raise to 900,000 to 1.8 million. But as of now, it's 500,000 and $1 million. So those are the changes, basically, we have to keep in mind for the EB5 program.
Right. Vanugaru, why is USCIS implementing visa availability approach?
The reason is they're not able to issue green cards. They're not able to give permanent residency approvals to the people who are in line on the pursuant to the family-based immigration. For instance, what I mean to say is, if somebody is actually trying to sponsor for his brother or sister, or for their married son or unmarried children who are above 21 years of age or below 21 years of age, and they're abroad, those people are not getting the immigrant visas because of the COVID-19 pandemic and because of the lack of fully functionality of the US consulates abroad. So the Department of State actually has to issue these visas to those individuals, and once they do that, those numbers, those family-based immigration numbers will be allocated to them. Based upon that, if they're used, then they won't be available. If those are not available, then the visa numbers are not moving forward. Same thing with the employment-based category also. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, even USCIS is not functioning fully, did not function fully last year, and many employment-based immigrant visa numbers are not used at the time. And also, because of the lack of utilization of these immigrant visas in the family-based category and also employment-based category, the Department of State actually allocating those family-based category visa numbers to the employment-based category as per the regulations, as per the statute, they have to do that, and those numbers have become available to the employment-based category. Because those numbers have become available to the employment-based category, we are seeing this tremendous forward movement in the visa numbers availability in the employment-based category, especially for Indian nationals in EB2 and EB3 category. That's the reason why. Because if the consulate starts working normally, and if they start giving green cards based upon the family-based immigration, and also if the USA start adjudicating green cards locally and issuing the green cards to people by utilizing those immigrant visa numbers, then automatically it's going to slow down, because at the time then the numbers availability will be less. Therefore, if the applications are more, just like a demand and supply way, it works like a demand and supply. And based upon that, the Department of State every month comes and releases the visa bulletin, letting us know what priority dates for which individuals the immigrant visas are available based upon their priority dates. That's what they're going to do every month. That's the reason why they issue visa bulletin every month.
Right. Thank you, Vanugaru. So, how often will USCIS assess visa availability throughout the year?
Every month, as I said, every month. It's not the USCIS, it's the Department of State. Department of State actually assesses that what is the visa availability for the individuals to get the green cards into this country. And then they notify the USCIS that these many visas are available and you can adjudicate or you can basically approve these many cases to the USCIS. It is the Department of State.
Right. So, how will USCIS report I-526 processing time?
As I said, the reporting time is right now is 24 months to 30 months.
Right. Okay. Thank you. What is the new public charge rule, Vanugaru?
As of now, the public rule charge has been cancelled. It's been revoked by the USCIS because of the case law, because of the cases filed against it. Therefore, there is no change in the public charge rule right now. It's actually voted back in the past. So we do not have to worry too much about the Trump legislation. That's what I call it. Trump administration passed regulations for the public charge rule are being cancelled and revoked basically right now. So we do not have to worry too much about them right now.
And what are the deadlines for applying?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question.
What are the deadlines for applying for this?
For which one? For which case you're talking about the deadlines?
About the form I-526.
There is no deadline. There is no deadline for applying I-526. Basically, it's just like any other immigration benefit. You can apply I-526 anytime, and as long as obviously the processing time, preparation of the I-526 is a little bit more complex in nature. So you have to really work closely with your attorney, and your attorney should be able to prepare these cases properly and file them. The preparation time based upon the case to case it varies. Some cases can be prepared in 10 days, some cases can be prepared in a couple of days, and some cases will take more than a couple of months to prepare because of the gathering of the documentation and the evidence and everything. So there is no timeline, there is no deadline for the I-526 to be filed. You have a deadline for the H-1B cap, like you have deadline for cases like H-1B cap petitions that to be filed basically, right? H-1B cap petitions for the first lottery, it's already done. And for the second lottery, we have a deadline is November 3rd, 2021. We have to submit all the files prior to November 3rd, 2021.
Right. How long does it take to apply for EB-5? How long does it take to get a green card after you apply for EB-5?
What we are seeing is 24 to 36 months. That is the timeline we are seeing to somebody to get a green card through the EB-5 program. It's 24 to 36 months.
Right. So how is COVID-19 affecting immigration, Vanugaru?
Oh, tremendously. I do not know exact what to explain for that, but it has a huge impact for the immigration programs in the country. One most important effect which was in the immigration program is that people who are traveling abroad to certain area countries, like 33 countries, right? Schengen area countries, South Africa, Brazil, China, India, South Africa, UK. Those people are unable to come to the US. That there is a huge traveling restrictions happening. That is the basic problem. That is the most important problem, and it has a huge impact on the immigration policies and processes in this country because of that. And it's causing a lot of inconvenience, especially for the family unities or especially for the employers who wants to bring their high-skilled workers. They have to wait for several years basically to actually let those employees come to the US and work in the US, basically US as visas are not available to them, or consulates are not functioning or not issuing visas, or they're not able to come into this country because of the travel restrictions and everything. They're impacting they're impacting families, they're impacting employers, they're impacting businesses. I mean, it's the COVID-19 has a tremendous, insurmountable amount of effect in the immigration policies and the processes also, and for the individuals also.
Thank you, Vanugaru. So, in relation to the previous question, what is the wait time for an EB5?
As I said, 24 months to 36 months, madam.
And
wait time is 24 months.
Sorry, please.
Yeah, it's okay. It's 24 to 36 months.
And how safe is an EB5 investment?
It depends, because investment's supposed to be at risk. Basically, investment has to be made by the individual for the purposes of creating 10 jobs in a bona fide enterprise, and that amount, the investment which the individual actually invested must be directly or responsible for creating those 10 jobs to the US workers. Basically, that means the investment must be at risk. Any business you do, it always carries a certain amount of risk, basically. So it's the safety desk means, investment safety means, if it pertains to the green card, getting through the EB5 program, it is very safe. I mean, it's very likely that if you do a proper investment and you do a proper documentation, you don't have any issues getting a green card through the EB5 program. I mean, you should not have generally any issues to get a green card through EB5 program. But if you talk into the financial investment, the amount which you invested into your any business entity, I mean, it's any commercial entity, then that has to be at risk. That is something which it depends upon the nature of the business you're investing and how you're able to handle that operations and functions of that business. It determines basically whether that investment is safe or not.
Right. What are the advantages of an EB5 visa, Vanugaru?
The advantage is it's quicker, and it's quicker, basically. That's the major thing. And as I said, if you do proper paperwork, if you have everything properly done, everything is actually shown properly, you're going to get a green card faster and secure, and therefore you'll be able to come to your country, have a better lifestyle, better life for your family, for yourself and everything. EB5 green card allows you to come to migrate to this country, not only you, but your family members also. That means your spouse, your children who are unmarried below 21 years of age, all that are eligible to come into this country if you're coming through the EB5 program. Especially for Indian nationals, if you look into the regular employment-based category and through the family-based category also, unless you are immediate relative or a spouse of a green card holder, the wait line is like, waiting times for getting a green card is like an average 10 to 15 years, you know? And so in the future, we do not know if the regulations, if the existing law continues to stay as it is, we do not know how long it's going to take in the future to get the green cards. But if it's through the EB5 program, you know that very likely that you're going to get your green card within 24 to 36 months. So that is the advantage with EB5 program.
Right. So how much does the total process of an EB5 process cost? I mean, what are the totaling charges? What do they come down to?
It depends on lawyer to lawyer. I have to, and case by case, they have to, basically I need to discuss basically based upon the candidate and how much we charge. Basically, it all depends upon the case to case. I would have to talk to privately for the individuals on that, but they have to understand that they have to make $1 million investment or a 500,000 investment, and above that, all the administrative costs and other things varies from lawyer to lawyer. But if you really look into general picture, may come around to 50 to 75 grand basically. You know, that's the cost which they have to spend to get all the processing, all the paperwork, and attorney representations, setting up of the entity, whatever is required, all bells and whistles, all on 9 years, what is required to go through to get the EB5 program. They can put around 50 to 75 grand on the side as an expenses basically, besides their investment amount. But It can vary. It can vary differently depending upon lawyer to lawyer, but depending upon case by case also. In our office also it varies. We for every case, every client, it won't be the same fee because things will be very different. The paperwork will be very different for us to do client to client from a client to client. So cost can vary. So it's very difficult for me to give you precise exact number, but an average, if you really ask me a ballpark figure, it will be around 50 to 75 grand.
Thank you so much, Vanugaru, for your informational insights on visa and immigration updates. We come to the end of the session.
Sure, thank you. Thank you very much, Thorani. And before everybody, wish you all a very happy Independence Day.
Same
I know
to
that
you.
I won't be doing show tomorrow and everything. Our Independence Day is in a couple of days. Basically, it's actually probably less than 48 hours now.
Yes.
And very proud and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind,
And,
Vanugaru.
Jai Hind.
I'm Torini Makana and you're watching Sakshi Live.